I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse. What if the most famous crime film ever made wasn't really about crime at all? What if The Godfather, 1972, wasn't just a mafia epic, but a quiet, bruising study of power, family, and the cost of survival in America? Behind its measured pacing and iconic dialogue, chaos erupts. Sets collapse, actors clash, studios panic. Decisions are made minutes before cameras roll that reshape film history. This video reveals 20 hidden details you completely missed in The Godfather, 1972, plus one final truth even die-hard fans rarely hear. Stay to the end, then do one thing, watch the film again. Fact number 1, the studio never wanted Marlon Brando. Marlon Brando is inseparable from Vito Corleone now, but that wasn't the plan. Paramount executives consider him unreliable, expensive, difficult. Not a draw. They circulate lists without his name. What audiences didn't know is that director Francis Ford Coppola fights a quiet war to keep Brando in the room. The compromise is humiliating, a screen test for a legend. Brando transforms himself, darkened hair, altered voice, stuffed cheeks creating the dawn in real time. Not bravado, but restraint. Not volume, but gravity. When executives finally see the footage, resistance collapses, not because Brando begs, because the character arrives fully formed. The Godfather isn't cast, he's revealed. Fact number 2, Al Pacino is almost fired before filming ends. Al Pacino's Michael Corleone feels inevitable today. Back then, he looks wrong to the studio, too quiet, too small, too unknown. Executives push for replacement again and again. What audiences didn't know is how close the film comes to losing its soul. Coppola shields Pacino by rearranging schedules and cutting early dailies from executive view. Not deception, survival. Pacino doesn't argue, he adjusts, he lowers his voice, he stills his body. Michael's power emerges not through force, but patience. It isn't a performance that announces itself, it waits. And by the time the studio realizes what it has, it's too late to interfere. Fact number 3, the opening scene nearly breaks every rule. The film opens in darkness. A face, a whisper, no music, no action, no spectacle. Studios hate this. They want momentum. Coppola wants gravity. What audiences didn't know is that the opening wedding is designed as a controlled explosion. Joy above, power below, laughter upstairs, judgment in shadow. The line, "I believe in America," isn't patriotic. It's ironic. The camera pulls back slowly, revealing a man begging for justice outside the system he claims to trust. Not a prologue, but a thesis. The rules of the world are established before the plot even begins. Fact number 4, real locations replace studio safety. Paramount pushes for backlot sets. Coppola refuses. He wants texture, age, imperfection. What audiences didn't know is how this decision complicates everything. Streets are narrow, lighting is limited, sound is unpredictable, but the environment does the acting. Peeling paint, low ceilings, rooms that feel lived in, not polished, not controlled, but authentic. The result is a world that feels inherited, not designed. A place where power settles into corners and never fully leaves. The camera doesn't decorate. It observes. Fact number 5, the wedding is a production nightmare. That joyful opening celebration looks effortless. It isn't. Hundreds of extras, live music, heat, food, noise, schedule chaos. What audiences didn't know is that Coppola uses the disorder. Real conversations bleed into scenes. Improvised gestures become canon. The wedding isn't staged, it's managed, and barely. This choice sets the tone for the entire film. Life keeps happening while power conducts business in the margins. Not spectacle, but overlap. Not order, but ritual. Fact number 6, the orange motif isn't accidental. Oranges appear again and again, on tables, in hands, in frames. What audiences didn't know is how carefully this visual rhythm develops. The fruit becomes a quiet signal, Not a rule, but a warning. Color punctures shadow. Brightness interrupts calm, not obvious, but persistent. It's a detail many viewers sense without naming. A subconscious cue that danger is near even in moments of humor or peace. The film doesn't announce threat, it places it gently in view. Fact number 7, the cat wasn't planned. The cat in the opening scene isn't scripted, it wanders onto set. Brando picks it up. What audiences didn't know is that the animal's presence reshapes the moment. The Don strokes it calmly while discussing punishment. Softness and severity coexist, not cruelty but certainty. The cat purrs so loudly that dialogue must be adjusted. No one complains, the moment works too well. Power, the film suggests, doesn't need to shout. Fact number 8. Violence is treated as procedure. The film contains shocking moments, but it never indulges them. What audiences didn't know is how deliberately Coppola frames harm as routine. No triumph, no spectacle, just consequence. Cuts are clean. Reactions are muted. Aftermath lingers longer than action. Not excitement, but weight. This approach reframes the genre. Violence isn't thrilling, it's administrative, and that restraint makes every incident land harder. Fact number 9. Michael's transformation is visual first. Michael's arc isn't driven by dialogue, it's driven by light. What audiences didn't know is how carefully his face changes across the film. Early scenes keep him in brightness. Later, shadows claim him, his posture stiffens, his gaze settles. Not innocence lost, but choice embraced. The camera doesn't judge, it records. By the time Michael becomes the thing he once avoided, the transformation feels earned and irreversible. Fact number 10. The restaurant scene is engineered anxiety. This scene is remembered for its outcome. What's missed is its design. What audiences didn't know is how sound drives the tension. A passing train, rising volume, internal pressure made external. The camera lingers, time stretches, not haste, but hesitation. Michael's decision isn't impulsive, it's delayed. And right here, go ahead and like and subscribe, because this moment represents the exact second cinema learned how to weaponize silence. Fact number 11, studio cuts almost undo the ending. Executives worry the ending is too quiet, too bleak. What audiences didn't know is how close the film comes to a more explicit conclusion. Coppola refuses. The door closes. That's it. Not explanation, but implication. Power is confirmed through absence, through what isn't said. It's one of the boldest endings in American film, and one the studio nearly softened. Fact number 12. Music is used like memory. Nino Rota's score doesn't dominate, it haunts. What audiences didn't know is how sparingly it's applied. Long stretches play without it. When the theme returns, it feels remembered, not introduced, not emotion added, but recalled. The melody becomes family history, something passed down, something that lingers even after scenes end. Fact number 13. Dialogue is designed to undersell. Lines are short, calm, measured. What audiences didn't know is how much meaning is buried beneath politeness. Threats are phrased as advice. Orders sound like favors, not command, but courtesy. This linguistic restraint gives the film its chill. Everyone understands what's being said even when nothing is stated outright. Fact number 14. Costumes age characters forward. Wardrobe choices track time, power, decay. What audiences didn't know is how subtly suits change. Lighter colors fade. Textures grow heavier. Michael's clothing stiffens as his role hardens. Not style, but signal. The film never announces transformation. It dresses it. Fact number 15. The baptism sequence is editorial brilliance. Cross-cutting here isn't flashy, it's cruel. What audiences didn't know is how the sequence weaponizes contrast, sacred ritual, ruthless coordination. Not irony, but indictment. Faith and power collide without commentary. The editing does the judging. By the final cut, Michael's soul feels sealed. The ceremony completes more than one transformation. Fact number 16. The Godfather redefines masculinity. Strength here isn't volume. What audiences didn't know is how radical this portrayal truly is for its time. Men don't assert power by shouting. They speak softly, they listen, they wait. Emotion isn't missing, it's carefully controlled, measured, and contained. Authority comes from restraint, not display, not dominance, but discipline defines who holds control. This quiet redefinition reshapes how power is portrayed on screen, influencing decades of cinema that follow and changing how audiences recognize strength. Fact number 17, the film reshapes the genre's language. Before this film, the genre favors speed. After it, gravity. What audiences didn't know is how many filmmakers quietly study its pacing as a masterclass in restraint. Scenes are allowed to breathe. Pauses carry meaning. Silence becomes as important as dialogue. Not urgency, but inevitability drives the tension forward. The story never chases its destination. It waits for it. The Godfather doesn't rush fate or force outcomes. It creates the conditions and then calmly allows events to unfold. Fact number 18, audiences change their sympathy without noticing. Viewers begin aligned with Michael. They end complicit. What audiences didn't know is how gently the film guides this shift. We understand his choices before questioning them, not persuasion, but alignment. The realization comes late, and it stings. Fact number 19, the film's darkness is intentional, not technical. Early complaints target the lighting. Too dim, too shadowed. What audiences didn't know is that this darkness is entirely intentional. Cinematographer Gordon Willis designs the look to obscure more than it reveals. Faces disappear into shadow. Rooms feel heavy, enclosed, secretive. This isn't a technical flaw, it's a visual philosophy. Not clarity, but concealment. The audience is never allowed full access, mirroring how power actually operates. Authority isn't displayed under bright lights. It gathers in corners, behind doors, and in half-lit rooms where control survives unseen. Fact number 20, the final shot is a moral lock. The door closes. Kay watches from the outside, powerless to intervene. What audiences didn't know is how final this moment is by design. There is no reversal waiting off-screen, no hidden mercy, not tragedy but completion. The transformation is finished, the family structure survives, but the man Kay once knew no longer exists within it. Power has fully settled into place. The silence that follows isn't empty. It's the price being paid, quietly, permanently, without ceremony. Bonus fact, the film teaches you how to watch it. The most surprising truth isn't behind the camera, it's in the audience. What audiences didn't know is that The Godfather trains viewers to accept power gradually, to rationalize decisions, to admire control. By the end, you haven't just watched a rise, you've been guided through it, not entertained, initiated. The Godfather, 1972, endures not because it shocks, but because it understands. Power doesn't explode, it accumulates, quietly, patiently. If this revealed something new, share it. Watch again, and remember, it's not what you see, it's what you accept.